What's going on, you guys? Frost here, and I'm back with another guide. This time we'll be talking about Elise Jungle. The following subjects will be mentioned in this guide: champion description, abilities, leveling order, runes, masteries, the item build, and ending off with the jungle routes. If you want to go to a specific subject, you can click on it right now. Champion description. Elise is a very strong mage in the jungle. She has a stun in her kit, which is amazing for ganking. Also, with her repel, you can use it to dive turrets, meaning that you can put a lot of pressure onto the lanes. Another great thing is she has built-in health sustain, and she can use her spiders to tank for her, so meaning you'll pretty much take no damage in the jungle at all, so you'll be at full health all the time. Plus, her spider form's abilities don't cost any mana, so you can legit stay in the jungle forever. With her really high base damage and percentage health damage, Elise is one of the best champions to burst high health tanks and also insta-kill squishy targets. The main problem Elise has is that in order to deal the maximum amount of damage her kit offers, she has to go into melee range. And depending on your item build, this can be very risky. Also, Elise isn't all that good in 5v5 teamfights, because most of her damage is single target, and once you go in, it's very hard to get out. If you like high damage, high sustained jungler with great ganks and objective control, Elise is definitely the champion for you. Abilities. Her passive, Spider Queen. When Elise her human abilities hit an enemy, she readies a spiderling, which is unleashed in spider form. These spiderlings deal magic damage each time they hit the enemy. Her first ability, Neurotoxin and Venomous Bite. In human form, Elise has access to Neurotoxin. She launches a blast of corrosive poison, dealing magic damage equal to a flat amount plus a percentage of the target's current health. In spider form, Elise has access to Venomous Bite. She dashes towards an enemy and bites them, dealing magic damage equal to a flat amount plus a percentage of the target's missing health. The way you want to use this skill is start with Neurotoxin, finish with Venomous Bite, because this way you will make use of both the current health and missing health part of this ability. Neurotoxin is great for poking down the enemies. It has good range and deals a lot of damage, especially to targets that are full on health. And Venomous Bite is great for finishing off the targets that are low health, as it will deal a lot more execute damage. You can also use Smite with this execute damage to ensure Barons and Dragons. However, the damage this skill deals to monsters is capped, so keep that in mind. Her second ability, Volatile Spiderling and Skittering Frenzy. In human form, Elise has access to Volatile Spiderling. Elise summons a venom-gored spider for 3 seconds, which moves towards the target location. The spider explodes upon contact with an enemy unit or at the end of its lifespan, dealing magic damage to nearby enemies. If the spider does not hit an enemy before reaching the target location, it retargets and chases down a nearby enemy, prioritizing champions. The spider's movement speed increases as it gets closer to its target. You'll mainly use the skill to check brushes and burst down your jungle camps or creep waves. In spider form, Elise has access to Skittering Frenzy, which passively grants her spiderlings bonus attack speed. And upon activation, both Elise and her spiderlings will gain a massive amount of bonus attack speed for 3 seconds. You can use this ability mainly to help you clear faster in the jungle or to clear Baron/Dragon. But it also helps a lot in killing the enemy because you will get a lot more auto attacks, meaning you'll deal a lot more damage. Especially since your spiderlings deal magic damage per auto attack. Her third ability, Cocoon and Repel. In human form, Elise has access to Cocoon. Elise fires a web in a line granting sight of the first enemy it hits and stunning them. This is pretty much the skill that makes Elise insanely strong at any 1v1 situation, because you will pretty much be able to burst anyone down in the time that your stun lasts. Also, this is why Elise is such a good ganker, because this skill has a massive range and when you land it, you'll pretty much always kill your target. In spider form, Elise has access to Repel. Elise and her spiderlings will lift up into the air, becoming untargetable for 2 seconds and revealing the area for the duration. Upon landing, Elise's unhit bonuses are increased for 5 seconds. This skill is an amazing gap closer when you are trying to use it for ganks, or if you're gonna try to escape. You can also use the skill to dodge abilities like Garth's ult, Nautilus ult, etc. But remember, don't spam click this ability in sticky situations, because if you panic, you will pretty much double click it and you will instantly go back down. Her fourth ability, Spider Form and Human Form. When you go into Spider Form, Elise will be accompanied by spiderlings. The more points you have in the skill, the more spiders you will have following you. Also, with each level you put into the skill, your spiderlings will become stronger. When transforming, Elise also gains 25 movement speed, melee attacks, and a new set of abilities. Additionally, her basic attacks deal bonus magic damage and will heal her. Make sure that you use this ability effectively by switching to spider form when you are roaming the map to use that 25 extra movement speed. Also, use your spiderlings to tank damage for you when you're clearing your jungle camps. And remember, the spiderlings will initially spawn behind you, so you can use it to block certain skill shots as well. Leveling these abilities. On level 1 I start with the Med W, because this will initially deal the most damage to your jungle camp, mainly in your spider form. Also, it's very nice to check the brushes with it, so you don't have to face check anything on level 1. Then on level 2 I take my Q to gain a lot more clear speed and burst damage. And on level 3 I'll take my E to enable the ability to gank effectively. And also gain better healing and damage. As far as maxing goes, I'll max my Q first since this is your main damaging skill. Then I'll max my W second because the attack speed you gain from it in spider form scales insanely well. Plus you'll be able to gain even more initial burst in human form. And I'll max my E last since the initial point into this skill is enough to last you throughout the game. And your other skills offer you more per point you put into them. And of course, you level your R whenever possible. The runes. I have 2 different rune pages for Elise. Whichever one you take will depend on your playstyle. The first rune page has 9 hybrid pen marks, 9 flat armor seals, 9 flat AP glyphs and 3 flat movement speed quints. This setup makes sure that you have the most early game damage, and this rune page will go along with the first mastery page. The downside of this rune page is it doesn't scale. It mainly focuses around the early game, and generally with this page you'll build more tanky on Elise. The reason for this is you'll be way too squishy if you go for the AP build with these runes. Also, going the AP build doesn't really work well with the hybrid pen marks. The second and my preferred rune page has 9 magic pen marks, 9 flat armor seals, 9 scaling magic resist glyphs and 3 flat movement speed quints. This rune page goes along with the second mastery page. This will make you scale better into the late game with an AP build and will also make sure you have enough required magic resist to last until the later game. The reason I go for movement speed quints in both of these builds is because Elise has that 25 increased movement speed from her spider form. Combining that with these quints will make it so you move around the map very quickly. And of course this means you can farm your jungle faster and potentially gank faster. If you don't have movement speed quints, however, I recommend you just using flat ability power quints. The Masteries. The first mastery page goes along with the first rune page. In this mastery page I go for 2190 and getting both the AD and AP in offense. I don't get the arcane mastery in this one because these masteries are meant for more tanky Elise. And in defense I'll take the damage reduction from champions and monsters. And also the increased health. Now for the second mastery page, this goes along with your second rune page. Again, this is what I prefer to do on my Elise. I go for 2190. Taking everything that possibly increases my magic damage in offense and health regen, flat health and damage reduction for monsters in defense. This page will scale much better into the late game, especially if you're going the build of more damaging Elise. The item build. There are 2 different item builds I use on Elise. The first one will be a high pressure early game build that goes into the more tanky Elise. This build goes along with both the first rune page and the first mastery page. And the second build will be a more scaling AP Elise build. This is the build that I prefer using and that goes along with both the second rune page and the second mastery page. The first build. I start with a machete, 2 health potions and a warding trinket. After my initial clear I go back and buy Stalker's upgrade to my jungle item and a pair of regular boots. After this you want to build into a Runeglaive enchant, as this offers you the most early game damage and quicker jungle clear. After the Runeglaive enchant you want to upgrade your boots into Sorks, as this will give you a massive power spike, and this will put you at your strongest point in the game with your runes and masteries. After your Sorks you want to build yourself a Sightstone. This will allow you to get a lot of control in the enemy jungle, and with the items you will have at this stage you can't lose a 1v1 against the other jungler, so you can bully him out. Also, once you get this Sightstone, make sure that you have a sweeping lance. And remember to buy pink wards, as this will give you even more pressure. Now after your Sightstone you want to build a combination of Locket and Frozen Heart. This will make it very hard for the enemy to deal with you. And you will still deal a good amount of damage. Also it gives you a lot of cooldown reduction, to give more stuns to peel for your carries. After finishing these items you want to upgrade your Sightstone and finish off the build with a Thornmail. You basically get more wards and health along with a massive amount of armor. After you've finished all of these items, you want to sell your Sorks for a pair of Ninja Tabbies and your jungle item for either a Warmox for even more health or a Randomus to get yourself both health and armor. Warmox is the item you take if the enemy has quite a lot of AP damage, and Randomus is in any other situation. This build is focused around tanking damage and peeling for your carries, so if this is your playstyle, go for this build. Now for the second build. I start with a machete, 2 health potions and a warding trinket. After my initial clear I go back and buy the Stalker's upgrade to my jungle item, as this is pretty much the best one to get because it adds to your burst damage, and a pair of regular boots. After this you want to start building into a Runeglaive enchant. This is just the best upgrade for Elise. It gives more mana sustain, extra clear speed and a lot of burst damage. After you finish your Runeglaive you want to upgrade your boots into Sorks. After this you want to build into a Haunting Guise. This combined with Sorks will offer you a serious amount of magic pen. and will make it so it will pretty much one-shot anyone at this stage in the game. Now, when you're quite fat, you want to finish your hunting guys into a Masteries and buy yourself a Elise. This offers you a lot of health and will make tanking objectives and killing the enemy a walk in the park. However, if you notice you are falling behind, you want to build your Frozen Heart now. Getting your Frozen Heart right now, after your magic pen items, will allow you to survive a lot more. And it will make it easier to get back into the game and finish your hunting guys into a Masteries and a Elise after. As a final item, you want to get yourself a Void Staff. Combining this with the magic pen you already have is just stupid. You will deal so much damage, it's not even real. However, if you think you're going to end the game early and you came off the fat way to build, meaning you build your Frozen Heart after your Elise and Masteries, you want to get yourself an Abyssal Scepter. If you're not going to end this game anytime soon, get yourself a Void Staff, as this will be much better. And generally, to finish off this build, after 6 items, I will sell my jungle item for a Zonias, as this will offer you a nice amount of armor and AP. And it will allow you to dodge a lot of damage if you time it correctly. Again, this is the build I usually go for, and it goes in combination with both the second rune page and the second mastery page. The jungle routes. You can see the jungle paths I take in the background right now. Whilst that is playing, I'll talk to you about spell rotations you want to do when clearing camps and how to gank with Elise. So clearing your jungle, you want to start every camp with a human form, starting off with the Q to the biggest monster on the camp. After that, you instantly want to use your W and swap to your spider form. Once in spider form, you auto attack and then you press W, as this will reset your auto attack. Right after you did this, you want to use your Q, and after that you want to keep auto attacking until you have your spider form Q back up. Generally, by this time you will have cleared the camp. Don't swap back to your human form to use any more abilities on the camp, because this is just a waste of your mana. Also, remember to use your spiderlings to tank the damage for you, by walking back and forth to make them the target of your jungle camp. The only situation you will use your skills from your human form again on the same camp will be in the very early game to get your spiderlings back to tank for you, as you will have your blue available to you in this clear, and it doesn't really matter how much mana you use then. And now for the ganking part. On Elise, you mainly want to focus the ganking top and mid lane, or even potentially invade the other jungler a lot. Ganking bot lane on Elise isn't really that effective, since she has a lot of trouble killing multiple targets. When you gank solo lanes or invade the jungler, your chances of winning that encounter are much higher. As a final tip, always try to get the scuttle crab, as with your built-in stun and your burst combo, you'll pretty much instantly kill this and it's worth a lot of gold. Remember, it spawns at 2:30 and it has a 3-minute cooldown after you killed it. Thank you guys so much for watching this guide. If you've enjoyed it or learned anything from it, please remember to leave a like, as this really helps me out. If you want to see more content from me, click that subscribe button. Also, leave suggestions in the comments below on what champion you would like to see next. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!